Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations, Afcon, Côte d'Ivoire, will now be held in January, February of 2024.
That was the CAF President Patrice Motsepe talking about the African Cup of Nations and its postponement to a later date, 2024, January, February. That date, once again, has come to disrupt club football to some respect. We'll look at the reasons why a CAF president made that decision at the currently ongoing African Women's Cup of Nations in Rabat, Morocco. A press conference given earlier today revealed as much. We'll look at the reasons he gave for that. He also spoke about the African Super League, which came against some form of oppression from the media. It looks like it'll go ahead as scheduled. As usual, subscribe if you have not. Click on the notification bell to get more updates. So we all know the 2023 African Cup of Nations was set to move back to the June-July dates, but it looks like something else is going to happen. Something similar to what happened earlier this year when we had the African Cup of Nations in Cameroon in January, February. It looks like weather conditions will not be favorable. As the CAF president said in the press briefing earlier today in Rabat, Morocco, the African Cup of Nations has been shifted to a later date, 2024 or January, February date. It will be played in. Let's have a look at him making that announcement on the African Cup of Nations.
Issues, as I said, Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations, Afcon, Côte d'Ivoire, will now be held in January, February of 2024. And having said so, I want to repeat, I am so proud of the world-class infrastructure facilities, the support from President Ouattara, the Prime Minister, and the whole of the cabinet and the football people in Côte d'Ivoire. I think that competition is going to be very special.
So you had that announcement there, thanking the authorities that have been in Ivory Coast trying to get things in place in time for the African Cup of Nations 2023 in June, July. Unfortunately, it cannot happen. It will be in January, February, where we will have issues with clubs releasing players once again and it disrupting the season for clubs once again. But it is set to take place in 2024, January, February. It was asked, and CAF President Patrice Motsepe was asked why that is. He explained in this video. Let's have a listen to him explaining why the dates have been moved.
The men's Afcon, is going to be held in January, is because we've got a partner. Even though we take the decision, but it's just, I think, more than anything, out of courtesy and out of respect. We've been taking so much advice. Some people said, yes, there's climate change and rain may not be an issue, and we shouldn't worry. And then the advice we're getting is that they're singing wonderfully for us. And the advice that we're getting is we cannot take that risk. So that's why there's still a lot of time. And that's why it's necessary that we made the announcement today.
Currently, the weather conditions are not great in Ivory Coast, and it looks like they do not want to take that risk. It's a risk they do not want to take. Some are saying that they should go ahead and play it over there, but they cannot take that risk. And what if the rain does disrupt the African Cup of Nations when they do start in June, July 2023? The rains are torrid, according to the reports coming out currently, and their partners are not encouraging the African Cup of Nations to take place in that same year. So we'll have another January, February African Cup of Nations disrupting club football as we had earlier this year. He also spoke about the Super League. Yes, if you do not know the Super League, what it is, it's a league that essentially will be for some select few that will take part in on the African continent. Something similar to what was being proposed for the Europeans. But according to FIFA president, it is in no way similar. CAF President Patrice Motsepe in this press briefing announced that the Super League will begin in next year, 2023. Let's have a listen to him talking about the Super League.
For purposes of our discussions, It has been called the African Super League, the African Football League, and we'll move forward on that basis. But the key issue for us is really the abnormal interest that we've been exposed to from some of the biggest and most prominent investors and sponsors. The Super League, African Super League, African Football League will start in August 2023. It will start in August 2023. We will be engaging with important stakeholders over the next few weeks. A lot of excellent work has been done. And I want to thank the president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino, and a world-class team from CAF and FIFA have been working together. And I think part of the huge excitement is sponsors and investors who are anxious to partner and to get involved. The important matter from CAF as well is a significant amount of the money from the African Super League / African Football League will go to the clubs. I can tell you a few things. We are looking at $100 million to be used as prize money.
Wow, quite interesting. Talking about the prize money of the Super League. He also went on to explain where the monies from the Super League will go and how they will improve football in Africa. Let's have a listen to him.
$100 million to be used as prize money. The winner of the African Super League will get between 11 and 12 million for first prize, American dollars. And there'll be lots of other prize money for as part of the 100 million US dollars. Part of the process involves giving every member association at least 100, well, let me say, giving $1 million every year to every one of the 54 member associations as a contribution to football development, to the youth development, and to football overall in every one of the countries. And also some of the contributions must go to CAF itself to increase the prize money for the Afcon. So that if you win the Afcon, you get, we've increased it the last time, we make it even more.
Wow, that's quite interesting. They're talking about how the money from the Super League will be distributed. The $100 million kitty, 11 million for the winners looks quite lucrative in the monetary aspect. But will it affect the CAF Champions League? Will that mean that the CAF Champions League will end? Well, he did answer this as well. Let's have a listen to him.
The Champions League will continue. Alongside. Yeah, it will continue alongside. And I'll tell you why, because there's going to be a total review of all fixtures. Total review. Champions League, confederations, and this, the new African Super League or African Football League. And then you've got to look at that in the context of the Afcon fixtures and the FIFA fixtures. So, and that's why we are hugely privileged that we've got a partnership with Europe that's important to us. It's very important to us, and we need European football to continue to succeed. And you know, and we are alive. We're aware of the issues which relates to European football that may have an impact on African football.
We heard him that the CAF Champions League will continue concurrently as a Super League. We will get confirmation as to how the future of the Champions League will be like, but it looks like it is going to run alongside. CAF are looking to provide more money, pump more money. Investors are coming in. and that is what they are looking to do, to get more money to all member associations. As to how teams qualify into the Super League, I think it will be communicated later on when we have more clarity on the process of qualification for it. So that was a press briefing. There are a few things I caught in there I thought I would share with you. The African Cup of Nations, the Super League, which is being called the Football League, the African Football League, a rebranding. We'll have the among issues discussed. Let me know your thoughts on the African Cup of Nations dates being changed, on the Super League conversation the president had. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great weekend.